Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela, and welcome back to my little series I started here. Deck cardstock hits and misses. So today we are going to be doing, and you're going to know before I'm talking right now. Well, I already know. I know why I said that. These are the Llewellyn hits and misses, and I only have one miss. But this has become a way for me to kind of show off decks that I haven't used for a while, or decks that are favorites. But I started off with 10 decks with US Games. Then I went to Red Feather. Now we're doing Llewellyn. So this is and it's totally my opinion, nobody else's. My thoughts, and I actually love Llewellyn cardstock. I have noticed, and it started out because really Red Feather has really been trying their darndest to create better cardstock, because their cardstock always kind of sucked before. And the last few decks I've gotten from them were just, the cardstock was phenomenal, almost indie quality. And I wanted to, and then I went down a rabbit hole. So then I wanted to kind of acknowledge in my opinion, the hits and misses of, because I've noticed, especially these three have really changed up their cardstock. Now, whether that's for good or bad, that's yet to be seen. I think Llewellyn, in my opinion, should stick with what they know, because the last deck I got from them was the total miss. And that's the only miss I have in this, because all these other stuff is older. There's a couple newer ones in there that they did change up the cardstock, but it was good. It was still good. But I kept 10 decks in here just because I've been doing 10 decks this whole time. Now, if we get down to like some of the less popular publishing companies, I may only have one or two, so I may not even do those. Or I may just show what I have. So I don't know yet, but I'm continuing my little series I've got going on here, and this is Llewellyn's hits and misses, and again, just my opinion. So we're going to start off with some older decks that you probably don't remember that I have. This one is the Easy Tarot. It's actually comes like this, in a big kit. And this was like $13 on Amazon. But then when you pull it out of the big box, it's a tuck box. It's the Gilded Tarot by Cheryl Marchetti. And I actually was introduced to his work by this deck. I edged it in black because the backs are black. I was introduced, let me see if there's any extra. No, there's not. I was introduced to his, and I love the cardstock because it shuffles so freaking phenomenal. Yeah, look at that. If I can't ruffle shuffle it, love the backs. This was the very first deck of his that I was introduced to, and I bought it, and it was a knockoff. And I was so disappointed. It was so tiny. It was blue backgrounds and blue backs, and the color were just faded. And I'm like, but I love this steampunky meets, I don't know, Art Nouveau, something else. I don't know. I fell hard for this artwork, and I was like, this is beautiful. And so, and you all know that from the Gilded Tarot Royale, that's more popular. But this is the Easy Tarot. It's a full kit. The first time I saw this kit, it was like $45. And then when I realized the deck I had was a knockoff, I'm like, I really want that kit, but because I wanted the big book too. And the next time I saw it, it was literally $13. And I'm like, I can't pass that up. I'm getting the deck and the guidebook and everything for $13. So I don't know if it was a sale or it's just older. It's like one of the older decks. So maybe that's why it was a lower price. I don't know. But the cardstock on this is phenomenal. Yeah, it's almost thinner than the decks I'm about to show you that are kind of probably newer. I don't know. They're all old to me. But that is the Gilded Tarot by Cheryl Marchetti. And yeah, I love his artwork. I have several of his decks now. Actually, the Encore Tarot is one of my favorites. And it's funny because we're starting with him We'll see. You'll see. Here. I just realized that. So the next deck I'm going to show you is a mini, and I'm not upset about the cardstock. I just realized I'd rather have it big, but this is the Steampunk Tarot. I have quite a few of his, or of the mini Llewellyn I can't even talk. I have quite a few of the mini tarots. Just because I wanted to try the deck out before I got it. I love that it comes with 2 little cards. I just wish it came with a little book. If nothing else, just some keywords. I did edge it in this chocolate brown to match the backs. Of course, it's a mini. It's not going to shuffle the way I normally would, but I don't care about that because it's a mini. I can take it anywhere I want to go. It's still big enough that I can. I mean, Llewellyn is the smallest cardstock. The smallest minis. Let me zoom in on this. But I love the images in it. It's cool. I very much like the steampunk of this. I have the Witch's Tarot also. I have the, oh my gosh, I just showed it not that long ago. I got it like at the end of last year. The Darkwood Tarot. That one, I even think I want to get over this one as a full size. And I've been tempted on a couple occasions, but I never see them cheap enough that I think is cheap enough since I already have it, if that makes sense. What I don't care for the minis all having borders because they're already tiny. Because none of the decks I have, none of the full size have borders. So I don't know that I like that, but it's not a takeaway enough that it's a miss for me. I do love it to pieces. I've used the crap out of this deck. I love the images. I love that world card. I love the coloring. It's stunning. But speaking of just cardstock quality, it's fabulous. It's the same cardstock. You just can't shuffle it the way you should be able to because it's a mini. But yeah, I still love it. So it's not a miss. Maybe that's my first middle of the road. It's a miss and a hit. Can I do that? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. What do you think? I can't put the lid on that. So that's deck 2. Deck 3, we have the Mermaid Tarot by Lisa Robertson, illustrated by Julie Dillon, and a humongous book. It's the typical Llewellyn box. I've edged this in teal to match the backs. And again, we're back to that beautiful shuffleable cardstock. It's funny to me because a lot of people that love to riffle shuffle hates this older cardstock of Llewellyn, and I'm like, I don't get it because they don't slide. I've noticed a lot of people that love to riffle shuffle love linen, and I hate linen simply because if it's a true linen, like I always picture it as a true linen being, which I don't know anything about cardstock, but I'm just telling you my opinions. In my thoughts, a true linen would be like the Pagan Otherworlds, and the deck can literally just sit on the table and start sliding. And I'm like, I can't use that. So I don't understand why people that love to riffle shuffle like me detest Llewellyn cardstock, because it's not the older cardstock, because it's not linen and it doesn't slide all over. It's beautiful cards, beautiful images. Maybe it's because it wears easily. I don't know. I've had this forever and it's not, it looks brand new still. Of course, I don't use this a whole lot, but I love the cardstock on this. I love the images. It's stunning. I don't know why half of the deck is upside down. Crazy. But I love this. I love it. It feels very much The Little Mermaid, but with a darker twist to it. And I love that. Love that. So that is the Mermaid Tarot by Lisa Robertson. Okay, next we have the Animal Totem Tarot by Lisa Robertson. I probably love this and have used this. The guidebook for this was like a freaking Bible. It's even thicker than the Mermaid Tarot. It's huge. I've used this probably of all my Llewellyn decks one of the ones I've used the most. The backs or the edges I edged in blue to match the backs. Again, it's that older cardstock. It shuffles fantastic. They're always tarot size. I don't know what it is about this deck. It's so sweet and so beautiful and so simple. And I'm just like, I love you. I love animal decks, and I buy quite a bit of animal decks. I don't use them a whole lot. This one I have used the crap out of. And I don't get the difference between this one and some of the other ones. Now, I have started branching out. Like my Oak Ash and Thorn and my Smoke Ash and Embers. I deem those as special. One, they're indie. They were not cheap. Two, the artwork does something to my insides. And it makes it very precious to me. So I don't use those a whole lot because of that. And I feel like this is the whole reason I bought this deck. Isn't this Queen of Pentacles so pretty? And then you got the wildflowers in the background. She just having a day. She is having her day. Like, it's just beautiful. I love it to pieces. So I don't understand why this one I can use like all the time. And I don't use the others as much. But yeah, that's like the one animal deck I have no qualms picking up and using. I don't hesitate to pick up and use, we'll say. So that is the Animal Totem Tarot. Then we have, this is probably my very first ever Llewellyn deck. I don't want to make a liar of myself, but I feel like this was my very first ever. This is the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. It's got a multiple, gilded in multiple colors because of the fronts. Whatever the fronts were, that's what I edged it in. And I think it came out pretty good. Love how it shuffles. These are the backs. These are the fronts. And we all know and love this deck. It's so stunning. So beautiful. I've used this quite a bit. It's funny because this deck I usually pull out in the fall and winter. I don't know why. Because there's a few spring, like, love that one. A few spring-like color decks in here. Or cards in here. I feel like this is a more fall deck. Five of Wands, my Stalker card. But it's stunning, and there's something very earthy and very otherworldly to me in this deck. And it's beautiful, but at the same time, it's almost scary because you're like, what? Yeah, I did a whole prompt on her, writing prompt. I did a lot of writing prompts with this deck. It's stunning. It provokes a lot of thought and writing with this specific deck, and I freaking love it. So that is the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. Gorgeous cardstock. Of course, these are all hits because they're all the same cardstock. Beautiful. Okay, then we have one more. It's kind of newer, but it's been out for a minute. Everything else is like new. This is the Witch Sisters Tarot by Julie Jeffrey. This is the second deck of hers, besides the Tarot of the Hidden Realm that I just showed you. This is the same cardstock. These are the backs, and then I edged it in what I thought was like this color, but it came out darker. It almost looks red, but it is an orange color. It shuffles amazing, and I have really yet to use this. I don't know why. I did say this almost brings out like a past life witch thing for me, and I have used it a little bit with the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. They work perfectly together. They're both very wintry decks to me, fall, wintry, late harvest kind of decks to me, which is probably why I haven't used it a whole lot. Because I might have got this at the end of, has it been out a year now, or the end of this past year? I don't know. I've had a lot going on the last 7-8 months, so I can't remember. But it's the same cardstock as all the others that I've showed you today. That beautiful, in my opinion. There's from the Eight of Skies, Eight of Swords. That's the cover of their box, and that's my favorite card in any deck. But yeah, it's stunning. It gives me a very, again, otherworldly, but in a very more dark, I won't say sinister way, because that's not the right word I want to say. But it's, yeah, it makes you think more on you're stumbling through the woods and come across this old witch's cabin that she doesn't like anybody. That's what I get. It's this very primal. I love that card. That's probably my favorite card in there. Gorgeous because of the bird. Maybe it's the primal is what I'm looking for. It's a more primal. Well, the other deck seems more civilized. This one is more primal, if that makes any sense. So we're down to the last 4. So then they came out with, and it's in a pouch because I've used the crap out of it. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can get it out. I don't know what's going on here with I don't know what's happening. I can't get it out. Oh my gosh. Hold on a second. Okay. The Tarot of the Witch's Garden. That's the back that I etched in this army green to match that. And it is the first deck that I know of them that have come out with a linen cardstock. And I was like, what? But then I worked with it. And there's some kind of coating, because it does not feel like the Pagan Otherworlds. There's some kind of coating over this linen cardstock, which you can tell it's linen right there in the top. It's linen, and yet I freaking love it because it's non-slidey. It doesn't slip all over the place. And I'm like, I love you. And this is probably what partially, other than the images, they're freaking gorgeous, endeared this deck to me hardcore, despite there being a misprint. This is the card I first saw on my calendar I got for 2022. And I saw this deck in the next deck I'm about to show you. It was advertised, and I'm like, where is this deck at? Where is it at? And then I had to wait forever for it to come out. And I was right there when it first pre-order was available. I bought it, and I loved it. And I'm like, I love it. And then they wound up sending me a free copy of the corrected version. So now I have 2 copies of this deck. This is the original. But it's a gorgeous deck. I love it to pieces. If they have this, and I will say US Games did the same thing with the last hit I had, which was that came out this year, the Universal Folk Tarot. They have the same kind of cardstock. It's linen, but it doesn't slide. And I'm like, I freaking love it to pieces. It's amazing. Amazing. So, I forgot to show you the last. This is one of the last ones. This is the Soul Cats Tarot. This, before the Witch Sisters, was probably the last deck I bought that didn't have, that's the old school cardstock. The shuffle's great. This is the same as all the other ones I had in here. I've talked about this deck ad nauseum. This is my replacement because my cat destroyed the previous deck. Don't know how I even got a hold of it, and I find it ironic that my cat destroyed the cat deck. The one cat deck that I'm just like, I need it. So, of course, I replaced it. I mean, I would continue to buy it again if you destroyed it again. Because it's Adam Oler's artwork. It's stunning. I freaking love it to pieces. Love everything about this deck. It's stunning. But this cardstock is also a hit. Because it's the old school. Look at that little hedgehog. It's the old school cardstock. And I freaking love it. And I will buy anything that Adam Oler's does. So, there's that. But it's the same cardstock. And got a little kitty cat bag for it. So perfect. So, then we've got 2 decks left. After the Tarot of the Witch's Garden came this year in April, the B Tarot. And again, it has this linen-y, you can see it right there, linen-y cardstock. And I'm like, oh no, why? But it's the same linen cardstock as the Tarot of the Witch's Garden. and I freaking love it. It doesn't slide anywhere. I can leave it sitting here and it will just sit there. And like my Pagan Otherworlds or a few other, I don't have many straight up linen decks because of this. Because they just sit there. You could just set the cards there and they will slide all over the place. And I'm like, I can't use that. Look at this wheel though. I mean, and the cards are stunning, stunning deck. It's a stunning deck. No matter how you look at it, it's stunning. I was never not going to buy this. This was the other deck that had a preview on the calendar I bought in 2022 from Llewellyn. And I waited over all this time for this deck to come out. And it just started advertising late 2023. And I'm like, oh my God. Because for a long time, I didn't even know it existed. Because there was the temperance card on that calendar, but then nothing else showed. And I'm just like, where is it? Love this sun card. It's my new favorite sun card. One of them. Anyway, I love this deck. It's beautiful. It's a hit. If they continue to do linen cardstock in this way, I'm not mad at it. I love it. So my last deck, number 10, and the miss, and I have no idea why they did this. And I find it ironic because I just started this whole video with a Tierra Marchetti deck, and we're ending it with a Tierra Marchetti deck. This is the Mystic Palette Tarot. This is the Sepia Tone Colors by Llewellyn. Yeah, it says down here, Llewellyn Books. And I have no idea. They went back to this old school box. And the cards are ginormous, and they're this huge matte. And they're thick. It's horrible. Horrible. I hate that my precious Tierra Marchetti deck is in this format. I have the Mystic Palette Tarot in the color version. I love the images in this version, but they're too large. They are too thick. Yeah, they don't move around, but it's because it's matte. They completely changed the cardstock and the size, what typically Llewellyn does. And even the box, they went back to an old school box type. Like I have the Mystic Fairy Tarot. It's in the size, and that's old. Why would you go back to something that nobody cares for? I love this card, dude. But I love the images. I love the images. There's also a misprint in this deck. The Nine of Swords is the Fool in this card. Nine of Wands is showing as 0, the Fool. Which until I contacted them, I don't think anybody else had or let them know, because I was one of the first ones to get this deck because I already had the colored version. I love the color version, and I've been waiting forever to get the sepia version simply because I knew it would be cheaper than if I purchased it again through Tierra Marchetti himself with the indie version, because the indie version is still available. And now I'm disappointed, and I'm like, I may have to still buy the indie version if I want this deck, because I love all his decks. I have several of his decks, and this, I was so excited waiting when I found out Llewellyn picked up this deck, and I'm like, and then they came out with the kit for the colored version. It's got the book and the huge box, just like I showed you with all the other ones today, except the cards are still huge and matte, and I'm like, and thick, and I'm like, why? Why are they this big? They don't need to be this big at all. And then I guess this version is supposed to be coming out later this year with a kit, with the book and everything. I don't even know if I want it. I'm just like, eh. And I didn't get the first version of this. I had to order it twice. And then they wound up crediting me everything and giving it to me for free. So I'm not mad at that, because they still took care of me. But I'm a little disappointed in the card. I'm very disappointed in the cardstock in this. But that is all the decks I have to show y'all for Llewellyn. They only have, of course, I'm one of those rare people that loves Llewellyn cardstock. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to add or subtract from this video, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a good afternoon.